Despite having multiple attempts on its life by Vince McMahon, tag team wrestling is, and hopefully always will be, a core part of the sport. To celebrate that, we are looking at some of the best wrestlers to ever compete in the doubles division. Now, this is not a rundown of the best tag teams of all time. That is a whole different story, and one that I'm pretty sure we've already done. Instead, it's one about the individual wrestlers who have won the most tag team titles, been part of several legendary teams, and done some of their best work whilst paired up with someone else. I'm Adam Pacitti from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are the 10 most successful tag team wrestlers ever. Join us! Number 10, Rey Mysterio. There are 3 things that Rey Mysterio loves most in life: dressing up as superheroes, beating up his own son, and winning tag team gold. Rey won his first set of tag titles in his early 20s, whilst teaming up with his uncle, Rey Mysterio, Classic Edition. When he wasn't dominating the cruiserweight title scene in WCW, he was winning 3 sets of tag belts, one with Conan, one with Juventud Guerrera, and one with Billy Kidman. Fun fact, he and Kidman were also the second ever WCW cruiserweight tag team champions. They were also the final ever WCW Cruiserweight Tag Team Champions because the belts got deactivated immediately afterwards. But hey, it all counts. In WWE, Mysterio found more tag team glory as a member of the vaunted SmackDown 6. He was on the losing side of the match to crown the first ever WWE Tag Team Champions at No Mercy 2002, but would go on to win those belts 4 times with 4 different partners. With so many different tag title runs across so many different companies, with so many different partners, there can be no denying that Little Ray has a knack for wrestling in duos. Number 9, Ricky Steamboat. Though he may be best known for his all-time classics with Ric Flair over the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship or his WrestleMania 3 Intercontinental title masterpiece against Randy Savage, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was also a dab hand when it came to tandem wrestling. In All Japan Pro Wrestling in the early 1980s, Steamboat was part of 2 memorable tag teams alongside Jay Youngblood and Dirty Dick Slater. Why are you all laughing? What's so funny about Dirty Dick Slater? On American soil, the Dragon reigned as a tag team champion 13 times for the NWA/WCW. He and Youngblood would wrest the NWA World Tag Team Championships off the original Briscoe brothers at the very first Starrcade event back in 1983. Though he was never a tag team champ in WWE, Steamboat's accomplishments in the division cannot be overlooked. He was a sensational wrestler who could easily adapt to any environment, which meant that he was just as capable of putting on a great match with a partner as he was on his own. Number 8, Kensuke Sasaki. WCW fans might remember Kensuke Sasaki for his time as United States Champion in 1995. There was a whole thing where he didn't want to drop the belt outside of Japan, so the company had one-man gang beat him in a dark match and then pretended like the whole thing never happened. It was, in a word, weird. Anyway, in his native land, Kensuke captured New Japan Pro Wrestling's IWGP Heavyweight Championship 5 times. He also won their tag straps 7 times with 5 different partners, ranging from legendary single-star Riki Choshu to Road Warrior Hawk. Sasaki reigned with the IWGP Tag Team Championships for a total of 817 days, the 6th most out of anyone in history. In 1991, Sasaki and his partner Hiroshi Hase, who would go on to serve in the Japanese government after leaving wrestling, the more you know, competed against the Steiner brothers in a battle that won Match of the Year from the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Combine all that with a couple more reigns in All Japan and Pro Wrestling Noah, and you could make a case for Sasaki being the greatest tag performer in Japanese wrestling history. Just don't tell Tamatonga I said that. Number 7, Seth Rollins. At Survivor Series 2012, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns burst through the crowd looking like they'd just been at a function where the dress code was smart casual. This was the debut of The Shield, a group that would lead Rollins to his first set of WWE Tag Team Championships when he and Reigns beat Team Hell No at Extreme Rules 2013. Rollins would also go on to win the Raw Tag Team Championships with Ambrose on 2 occasions. In total, Rollins has won the WWE/Raw tag belts a record-tying 6 times with 5 different partners by his side. Outside of the big dub, the Visionary was a tag champ in Ring of Honor and PWG alongside former WWE writer Jimmy Jacobs. They were called the Age of the Fall, which has got to be one of the coolest tag team names in wrestling history. Put simply, you could say that Rollins has quite the tag team pedigree, because, you know, he uses the pedigree sometimes. Trust me, it works, guys. It works. Number 6, Edge. If there's a notable achievement in WWE, there is a good chance that Edge's name will crop up alongside it. He won the World Heavyweight Championship more than anyone else, he was the first person to win Money in the Bank, he won the Royal Rumble, the King of the Ring, and he was voted wrestling's most handsome Canadian in 1999. My condolences to Lance Storm. He is also a record-setting World Tag Team Champion, having held those belts on a staggering 12 different occasions. 7 of those reigns came with his brother/not-brother Christian, who was also a strong contender for this list. Elsewhere, the Rated R superstar won gold with the likes of Randy Orton, Chris Jericho, and childhood hero, the human hot dog himself, Hulk Hogan. He only managed a measly 2 reigns with the WWE Tag Team Championships, but was involved in that epic No Mercy match with Rey Mysterio that we mentioned earlier. From revolutionizing WWE Tag Team Wrestling with the TLC matches, to being part of the SmackDown 6, to as many other memorable units over the years, Edge's prowess as a tag team wrestler is something that we can all see clearly. Alright, I'll stop with the wordplay now. You people have no taste. Number 5, Arn Anderson. If you look up the word manly in the dictionary, you will see a picture of a shirtless Arn Anderson grappling with an alligator while simultaneously building a shed. By the way, he's 12 years old in this picture. The Enforcer's menacing presence made him the perfect candidate for the role of Heavy in the Four Horsemen, as he and his various stablemates would do anything to keep the world title around Ric Flair's waist. In terms of straight-up duos, Anderson has had many accomplished partners over the years. As well as his kayfabe brother Ole, Arn won tag gold in the NWA with Paul Roma, Bobby Eaton, Larry Zbyszko, and of course, Tully Blanchard. As the Brainbusters, Arn and Tully moved over to WWE and won their sole pair of tag belts by ending the record-setting reign of Demolition in 1989. They would have almost certainly won more titles had Tully not been popped for some naughty powder later that same year. Though he never quite made it as a main event singles guy, Anderson could always be relied upon to work well as part of a larger group. Number 4, Billy Gunn. Usually, a wrestler is lucky if they end up being part of one memorable tag team. As for Billy Gunn, well, he's been in 3 of them. Daddy Ass first debuted in WWE as one half of the Smoking Guns alongside his pretend brother Bart. The cowboy-themed double act were pretty successful in their time together, winning 3 sets of World Tag Team Championships before splitting up in 1996. Then came the team you probably best know Gunn from, the New Age Outlaws. Alongside Road Dogg, the Badass held tag gold 5 times during the Attitude Era, with the team being one of the most over acts on a ridiculously stacked roster. The Outlaws even came back to win a 6th set of belts in 2014, although maybe we shouldn't dwell on that bit of business for too long. And then, of course, there was Billy and Chuck, Gunn's we're together but not really team with Chuck Palumbo that produced 2 tag title runs and more controversy than you could shake a Vicar-shaped mask at. For reasons good and bad, Billy Gunn has always stood out as a tag team wrestler and has plenty of gold to prove it. Oh look, make that 4. Number 3, Mick Foley. Not only did Mrs. Foley's baby boy win tag team gold in WWE under 3 different personas, but he also won the tag straps of all 3 major wrestling companies during the Monday Night Wars. His one and only set of WCW tag team titles were won at Slamboree 1994, when he and Kevin Sullivan defeated the Nasty Boys. In ECW, he won 2 sets of tag belts alongside everybody's favourite jobber, no not Jack, Mikey Whipwreck. Then came his time in the World Wrestling Federation, where Foley came down with a serious case of tag title fever. He won his first set of World Tag Team Championships under his Dude Love alter ego, alongside none other than Stone Cold Steve Austin. Then at WrestleMania 14, a reborn Cactus Jack teamed with Chainsaw Charlie, aka Terry Funk with some tights over his head, to defeat the New Age Outlaws in a championship dumpster match. That was the stipulation, by the way, not my review on the action. By the time all was said and done, Foley was an 8-time World Tag Champ. That brings his career total up to 11 different reigns with 7 different partners. It should have been 8. Number 2, Kane. On the July 13th, 1998 episode of Raw, the Big Red Machine began his tag team title reign when he and Mankind defeated the New Age Outlaws. They then lost the belts to Steve Austin and The Undertaker before winning them back to make a 2-time champ in the space of about a month. Whilst Kane's reigns were never especially long, he sure did have a lot of them, 12 to be precise. These included his memorable run with X-Pac after those two became friends, 3 championship victories with his brother, The Undertaker, and who could forget his time in Team Hell No with Daniel Bryan. Easily my favourite hug-themed team of all time. In total, 7 different men have been tag champs with Kane, which is the most of anyone in WWE history and a testament to the big man's versatility. He worked just as well in big monster teams, like his one with The Big Show, as he did in odd couples, like his pairing with the Hurricane. Put simply, if you are a wrestler, big or small, and you're in need of a championship-winning partner, then it's gotta be Kane! Number 1, Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston, of course, deserves to go down in history as a great tag wrestler for his work in the New Day alone. Alongside Big E and Xavier Woods, Kofi has been one of the most consistently popular tag acts for the last decade, scooping up belts like they were going out of style. With either E or Woods as his partner, Kingston has won either the Raw or SmackDown tag belts 10 times. This includes their second reign as a unit, which broke Demolition's record for longevity back in 2016. Oh yeah, and he and Woods also won the NXT Tag Team Championships in 2022, just because. However, this list is all about wrestlers who have been in multiple successful tag teams, and luckily, Kingston has that covered too. Our man has also been a champion with Evan Bourne, R-Truth, and CM Punk, making him one of the few people to work with Punk who he hasn't turned on yet. In total, Kingston has been a tag team champion in WWE for 1,395 days. He has broken all sorts of records in that time and has always been entertaining. Nice job, Kofi. Have a pancake to celebrate.